And I tell you, I just got clocked by God so badly. Let's talk about it. So I got this book for my baptism, which was nearly a month ago now. It'll be a month ago on Sunday. That's nuts. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and if you know me, you know I talk about this book all the time. It's basically finding our purpose through God, and it is so powerful, and it's written by, as I said, Rick Warren, who is a pastor in the US, and it is amazing. Over 50 million copies have been sold. It's honestly life-changing, and you read a chapter a night. Now, I could sit here and tell you that I read my chapter every single night without fail, but that would be a lie. And it's actually quite interesting because when I first got baptised, I was on fire for God. Of course, I was filled with the Holy Spirit. All I wanted to do was spend time with Jesus, and all I wanted to do things that get me as close to God as I possibly can be, and I really felt his presence on me, and I was reading my book every single night. Now, a lot of people will tell you that when you do something as big as getting baptised, naturally you have the enemy that wants to draw you away from God. He is not happy that you have decided to follow Christ, and he is going to do everything he possibly can to draw you away. I'm going to be completely honest with you here. As an honest Christian, as an authentic follower of Jesus, I have found myself feeling a little bit distant to God recently. Over the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've been putting other things before him, and I feel like I've been focusing more on the pleasures that I believe I will get out of my own life than following him. And I've been kind of willy-nilly picking up this book here and there. I won't read it for a day, and then 4 days will go by and I haven't picked it up. The enemy is real, and the enemy tries to attack at every point he can. And I actually saw something on Instagram about how the enemy tries to distract us in our everyday lives to draw our attention away from the main focus, which is God. Anyway, before I read my chapter tonight, I asked God to speak to me through this chapter. I asked him that I would have the knowledge to understand what this chapter was saying. I asked him to really speak to me through the words, that I understood every single word in this book. Quickest prayer answered. Quickest prayer answered. I think that's ever happened. First thing I read. Okay. You are as close to God as you choose to be. Clocked it. Clocked it more than JB.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
God really said, honey, I'm waiting to be your bestie here, and you're not giving me enough attention. I highlighted something on the first page, and it says, if you want a deeper, more intimate connection with God, you must learn to honestly share your feelings with him, trust him when he asks you to do something, learn to take care about what he cares about, and desire his friendship more than anything else. It was a really nice chapter because it was talking about how Jesus is the friend of sinners and how God doesn't want us to be perfect. He knows we're never going to be perfect, and he just wants us to include him in every point of our lives, in every part of our lives, just to actually build a friendship with God. This chapter is actually called Developing Your Friendship with God, and it's actually how he just wants to be our friend. He just wants to be there for us. He wants us to be able to go to him about anything. He knows our hearts. He knows exactly what our hearts need. And he just wants us to be completely honest with him. It actually mentions about how it's really important to share your uncertainty with God and your doubts. And I just think he loves us so much. He loves us so much, and we all fall short of the glory of God. We are human. We are not perfect. Jesus was perfect. We are not. It says, releasing your resentment and revealing your feeling is the first step to healing. As so many people in the Bible did tell God exactly how they feel. And it says, expressing doubt is sometimes the first step towards the next level of intimacy with God. So this whole chapter was incredible, and God definitely answered my prayer because he knows I needed to hear that. And he knows I needed to speak to him about my doubt, speak to him about actually, I feel like I've not drawn close to God recently, and actually be honest with him and ask him to just show me him again and me to feel his presence. And we don't always feel God's presence, but it doesn't mean he's not there. And I think that's one of the things that I'm learning, is that, you know, sometimes I can really feel God's presence and I literally feel like I'm on fire and I feel like I'm so spiritually enthusiastic, and then other times I feel spiritual lethargy. And that was actually in the book, and I was mind blown when I saw that, because I really feel like that's what I'm going through right now, is a bit of a spiritual battle, spiritual lethargy. I feel, you know, lazy with my faith at times. And it's actually just clocking me to, even when I am doubting and even when I am feeling this type of way, God just wants me to be honest with him and tell him that. He knows that, but he wants me to be honest with him, as a friend to friend would. And it's about developing that relationship as if it was a worldly friendship like we have here, but having a friendship with him. And that's the most important thing we can do in this life, is build a relationship with God. Anyway, just a bit of realness for you, and I hope someone appreciates this video. And if you haven't got this book, get the book. It's so good.